Florida. Today we're going to take out the 2024 S1000RR for a first spin since the ECU unlock. Looking forward to it. It should be a good ride. It's an awesome bike. It's beautiful. Yo, what's happening? Sitting on the 2024 S1000RR today. It's a nice day. It's about 93, 94, and I have my full gear on like I do every day when I ride. And once I get up to speed, it'll be all right. Sure, it's a little toasty right now, but it is what it is, right? To be honest with you, these bikes nowadays are a lot different than they used to be. Feels good. Wheels aren't real warm yet, but they will be on the next 12 release here. Yeah, she feels good. Kind of reminds me of the old R1. I have my 2017, but I think this one's even a little bit more user-friendly. It's got a lot of power. It hits around 8.5, 9 grand and the wheel starts coming up easy. Everybody can do wheelies now, even me, even the old Crinkle. Even the old Crinkle can do wheelies now, but we don't do that, right? It's good to be riding though. Good to be riding. I'm trying to give you a real life comparison. My last bike was the R1 2017. That was actually stolen. That's not a good time when you walk out to your parking lot where you left it the night before and your bike is gone. Yeah, it feels nice. Gobs of power and a lot of torque, definitely up the top. Right now I have all the settings at my race 1, which is I have it set the wheelie control at the lowest setting, which is 1, and ABS and all the rest around 2 and 3. Engine power is 1. Braking I have it at like 3. I like the braking, the engine braking a lot. And I know the wheel's going to come up, but that's part about going from the dig, right? That's like back in the day. Back in the early 90s when I used to ride, when I was 20, early 20, 19, 20, 21. Late 80s. I always wanted to go for the dig. Everybody else wanted to go for the roll. I was like, what the heck is a roll? Especially when I had my old Ninja 900. The thing was a tank. I mean, that bike was a tank. But I always went from the dig. I can't tell you how many times I looked in my rearview mirror when I was stuck and I'd see these guys on their GSXR 750s at the time and ZX7s, which I eventually bought, but these guys were all flipped over, cartwheeling. The old Ninja 900 big tank just laid it right down on the ground. It's kind of wild when you look back in the day. Especially some of the bikes I had. I had the brand new GSXR 1100 in 90, 91. And at the time, it was by far the fastest bike out here. In 6 gears, he rolls pretty good too. That's the difference right there. Just gobs of torque. Rolling it on from 6 gear, it just goes. It's an awesome machine. Awesome machines nowadays. But it's just so smooth. And it has just gobs of torque and power. I mean, even in 4th, 5th, 6th gear, I just did a pull in 6th gear and it just kept going. That's awesome. This is definitely a completely different bike than the Ducati. This is a much more user-friendly, fast. This is really fast. You just like pulls in 6th gear like that. It just wants to go. Oh yeah. The old crinkle missed that. Once you get the bike in you, can't get the bike out. I'm gonna be a 100-year-old crinkle. You might have to pick me up, and I was telling Brett he's gonna have to like place me on the bike in about 10-20 years, but I'm gonna go riding with him, especially on this baby. This baby is smooth. I'm retired right now, and this is what we're gonna do. My son and I are gonna go riding, and we're gonna film it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. If you guys have some ideas, bring it on. I'll get some comparisons between this and the Ducatis, and I'm sure we're gonna get some more bikes too. But I can tell you right now, I'm gonna give this a complete thumbs up. And this is coming from riding. I was riding Ducati all day yesterday. Now the ECU isn't unlocked yet, but this is a much more user-friendly. It's just as fast, if not faster. Awesome bike, all around. I mean, all around comfort. I mean, heck, I'll put on, when we get back on the highway, I'm gonna go ahead and put the cruise control. We'll test that out. And I was not allowed to do any more stoppies because yesterday the old crinkle did a couple stoppies, and I came down in my right hip. I ended up going in this morning and getting a cortisone shot. The police. That would be the police up there. So I think I'm going to back her down, and we'll put it on cruise control, which is the button right there. Simply move that to the right and push the set button, and we're good to go. I'm cruising 70 miles an hour. I can't say I've ever had it set cruise control on a motorcycle. It's kind of a bonus. Okay, that's enough of that. I have my draggy right here, but I didn't bring my phone. It just feels so light. And I remember the R1 that I had. I had it tuned, and I had an M4 exhaust on it. And, I was trapping some pretty good times. Good enough the first day I was out there, they pulled me aside and said I couldn't come back until I put a kill switch on it. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get that chance because it was ripped off, but if I remember, I was in the 9s and I was trapping 150 something. But I had a lot of work done to that bike. Hypothetically, possibly, I may or may not have did a pull on this bike with the draggy right here. And with the launch control, 10.3, 10.4, with terrible launches. It was, I have to get, you definitely, I don't want to burn the clutch out, but there's a fine line between just dumping it, because when you just dump it, it goes down to $4 grand, and between 4,000 and 8,000 RPMs, there's kind of a dead spot. But I believe I ran a 10.3 or 10.4, around 144. I'll have to look at the numbers on the draggy site. But I definitely think I can get this into the 9s for sure. I weigh about 210, so that's going to factor in a little bit. But all around, it's just a smooth bike. Every gear, with the exception, we'll see, we'll go down to 4,000. Yeah, like 4 to 8 grand. Like a roll on in 6. 4 to 8 grand is definitely kind of a slow spot. Now when you drop a few gears, that's when she wants to roll. But it's not overly fast. It's not scary fast by no means. There was one time that I rode it scary fast, and that was a stretched Busa with nitrous at the track. I forgot what I ran. It was 8 something. It was slow compared to everybody else, but I tell you what, that's a whole different experience. That's a whole different experience. You push that button, that thing got up and went. You could feel it in my gut. But I'm gonna bring this to the track too. I'm thinking about probably Roebling. I'll be at Daytona next month. I'm gonna video that, but I'll be on a Ducati. But I definitely want to compare times with this bike too. So if another Daytona track event comes up, I'm definitely going to take advantage of it. That's a very fast track. Now I've only driven it. I've driven it a lot actually, in cars, multiple cars. It's like the country club of tracks compared to Sebring. And I love Sebring. Sebring is my favorite layout. But today's a nice day. Nice day for a little ride, huh? I miss this. There's that Ford 8000. Definitely a little dip in power, but man, she's so smooth around corners. It's just effortless. It wants to turn in. It really just wants to turn in, these bikes. It's amazing. But with this, I mean, you can just, I trail into that little twisty back there, and it's kind of a double, it's kind of a weird double apex, but it's so smooth over. I mean, I'm only like 38 degrees, no big thing, but it just wants to turn in, and it just feels so good over. And I wasn't dropping any knees by any chance, but in a way, I wasn't that far over. I would highly recommend to take one for a test drive if you get a chance. And you're never too old. Remember that. You're never too old. You gotta live every day. You gotta live every day to the fullest. But all around, I mean, in town, any first gear is manageable. It's not like a cup car. It's not like a Ducati. I mean, Ducati in first gear, it wants to be at. It has to be past 6-7 grand for. It's where it wants to be. This bike, you can be anywhere in the RPM range, and it feels good. The quick shifter is just incredible. It has all the right packages. I'm going to videotape as much as I can because I'm going to ride a lot. And I hope to take you guys along for the ride and along for the journey with me. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next time.